Hello, my name is Vincent Violillo, and this is my presentation about college students and the mental health epidemic. Why I chose this topic, as a college student, I understand how difficult it can be and how it can take a toll on one's mental health. All the work that we have to do and all the things we go through, and the 2 to 4 year to even more than that college experience. It can be a lot and could definitely take a toll. I'm especially drawn to this topic because I have personal ties to it. I've personally struggled with my mental health in the past, and it was often overlooked or minimized, especially by the schools that I attended. I want others to know that mental health is a real and very serious issue. They're not alone, and this issue should be addressed accordingly. Like I said earlier, in college, all these things that we have to do, all these assignments, these deadlines, these tests, we're working so hard in so many different classes to, and paying a lot of money to get a degree so we could do what we want in the future. And obviously, all that will take a massive toll on someone who is still young, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old that is still young. And they're just getting thrown into the real world. And this kind of, college and everything that comes along with it definitely adds a lot of stress, can cause mental health issues like depression, anxiety. Um, the problem is college students are often under a lot of pressure that can harm one's mental health. This issue has been mostly looked past as just a normal part of college, and sometimes people don't even believe that mental health plays a big role in one's life. Mental health can affect physical health as well. So, just to elaborate on that, obviously, mental health can affect your physical health because, if you fall into a depression, you're not going to want to go out. You're just going to sit cooped up in your bedroom or whatever. You may eat more. That could be part of it. You may eat more. You're less physically active. So like I said, you could gain weight. And your overall health, of the brain and everything will just, get worse. Um, Obviously, this can cause a very harmful cycle. One gets stressed in college and then that person becomes sick. Now they're sick and they're unable to attend classes, which can lead to failing. And obviously, failing classes much more stressful. Is even more stressful, and the cycle obviously continues. Sorry, I'm just resetting my stopwatch here. The problem, the statistics from CNN, they say 40% of currently enrolled college students have considered dropping out in the last 6 months. That's nearly half of all college students have considered basically just saying screw it because the stress is so bad that they want to drop out, which is, alarming to say the least. 75% of lifelong mental health problems onset in the early 20s, which the early 20s obviously like, the end of college, coming out of college. So 75% obviously, that's a lot. That's a lot more than half. And then 1 in 7 college students claim that they have had suicidal thoughts. 1 in 7 may not seem like a lot, but if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, 1 in 7 is a lot that have had thoughts, suicidal thoughts. That is thoughts to, end your life. So that's like really alarming as well. And according to the American Psychological Association, the number of students seeking help at campus counseling centers increased almost 40% between 2009 and 2015 and continued to rise until the pandemic began, which means it'll probably have just kept going up and up and up. And about 75% of college students reached out to a peer first when they were in distress, while only about 11% contacted faculty, staff, or administrators, which is showing that these students are still not comfortable in the schools, counseling programs and resources, that they still won't go to the school or faculty or staff will go to a friend because that's who they trust. And then Springer Link says 11.9% of college students suffer from anxiety and 7 to 9% of college students struggle with depression, which once again don't seem like big numbers, but in the grand scheme of things, so that's 10%, that's a pretty decent number. That's a pretty big chunk of college students. And the solutions, obviously, we need to break this cycle. We need to provide more opportunities for students to get help. We also need to make these services free and confidential. And just a thing that I thought I'd add, a law in North Carolina, many young students are on their parents' insurance, and when a student attends a free therapy session, that bill for the insurance goes straight to the parents, which is a North Carolina law. which basically shows that us college students, we're basically adults at this point, but a lot of us are still under our parents' health insurance and everything. So if we want to go get a therapy, session, because if we want to go seek help, this North Carolina law basically discourages us from doing that because the law shows that the bill needs to be sent to our parents because we're on their health, we're on their health insurance plan, even though we're basically adults at this point, we're still on their health insurance plan. So the only way for this to be changed to either change the law or make these services free and not just free due to insurance. But that's a conversation for a whole nother day. Um, Another statistic, according to the American Psychological Association, amongst the 377 college campuses that they studied across America, all counseling centers that received a rise in funding led to an increased caseload. And this statistic clearly shows that college counseling centers are underfunded, which leads to less students going out and seeking help from them. Increasing funding to college counseling programs is obviously, as you can see, a very effective solution that could help combat the mental health crisis amongst college students. And this is just a very informative, very interesting TED Talk. How can we solve the college student mental health crisis by Dr. Tim Bono. Very informative. He goes obviously into detail about solutions for the mental health crisis among college students, how we can, solve it, how it can get better, how we can help students. Yeah. And no, I don't want to play that. And then here's just a word search I made that relates to mental health and college and mental health in college in general. And last but not least, my bibliography with the three sources that I utilized to create this presentation from the American Psychological Association, which is a obviously very reliable, very notable, very trustworthy organization. This next one, CNN, which is another pretty reputable news source. And last but not least, it's Springer Link, which this article is a peer-reviewed article, so very trustworthy, very notable. Obviously, it's great to cite, so that's what I did. Thank you. Thank you for listening.